I've had a super productive week. I've had one of those really great, like the kinds of weeks that I dream of having, where I'm just able to get lots of stuff done and really enjoy the process of creating and making things happen. So that's been awesome. And at the same time, I'm noticing how it doesn't matter how productive I am, how quickly I'm getting things done. There are always more ideas and creative dreams calling me than I actually have time to pursue. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I am doing a coaching group about this starting April 1st, about those dreams that we don't feel ready for, or we don't have time for, or we're not making space for. So I will link to that below, but I'm not just going to promote it in this video. I just wanted to talk about that a bit, because there are two things that happen with that. The one is that we kind of sometimes blame ourselves, like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not working hard enough, I'm not producing enough because I always have all this stuff that I don't seem to get to. And the other is that we actually believe, I'm not ready, I can't do this, I have to leave this dream on a shelf. And both of those approaches, I think, damage us quite a bit. So the first one, where it's like we're blaming ourselves, like it's our own failing that we always have more ideas and dreams than we have time for. I think this is just the nature of being a creative person. We always have ideas, and your dream is how your soul calls you towards your true self. Your dream grows you towards your true self, towards your creative and spiritual potential. So every step you take with your dream, it grows you and it grows your potential. So of course, the more you're working on your dream, the more your dream is expanding, the more you see that you could be doing. But you remain a human being through all of that. And there are real limits on how much we actually can accomplish. And your value as a creative person, as a dreamer, just as a human being, your value is not dependent on your output. Your productivity doesn't measure your value. We're always going to have more than we can actually do. That's the nature of having a creative mind. So one thing is that we need to make peace with that a bit and look at our own patterns around it. So where am I blaming myself for not getting more done? Where am I rushing through my current projects to get to the next one instead of really deeply enjoying the process of being in my creative flow? So there's so much that we can look at there in our inner relationship so that we can enjoy our ever-expanding creative ideas. And then the more we're processing all the feelings we have around it, of course, the more you're in a place of power to choose which ideas you're going to give your time and attention to. And so the other thing that happens, as I said, is that sometimes we just believe that we need to leave our dreams on the shelf, that now isn't the time. And that's something I really want to challenge. I left my dreams on a shelf for a long time because I had tried everything I knew to make them real and nothing worked. And so I thought, maybe this is impossible, maybe it'll happen later, but it didn't feel like there was anything more I could do. And that was because I was looking at it in terms only of the outer work. So I was completely stuck in the outer work, and I let that be the end for years. So now, that's why this thing is so important to me and how I teach. Outer work is just one part. And the reason why I was so stuck is that actually I had a lot of inner work to do. That sense of growing towards the me that I need to be in order to make this thing happen. There is always something you can do. The outer work can be super stuck. That means you can do inner work, dream work. So, and the funny thing is, even when everything feels totally stuck in the outer world, when you start to make space for your dream, doing some dream work with it, doing some inner work on it, you start to find new ways of being able to move forward in the outer world. Because when I had my dreams on hold for those years there, everything moved when I started to do the inner work. The outer world didn't change to make it easy that I could be this self-employed creative person. I changed. And I changed when I decided to actually change. So that's why this thing is so important to me, because what it really says is waiting isn't an option. When it comes to your dreams, there's something you can do, and I don't mean in a super pushy, work your ass off kind of way. I mean in the way that you're having your dreams be more part of your life nourishes you. It makes us happier, it makes us more fulfilled, it brings us closer to our true selves. It nourishes us in every way. And so we all have other things in our lives that are important, taking care of our families, our jobs, our, physical self-care, everything. These things are all important, and the dream is important too. So this is what I'm going to be doing with a small group of people in the coaching group starting April 1st, if you want to come join me. It'll just be a really gentle and supportive group for just making space for what might be ready to come through and what would be a reasonable way for you to work with your dreams. Not like, why don't you quit your job and work your ass off to make this thing happen? Nothing like that, but just how do you make a little more space so that your dreams can actually nurture you right now. Right? Your dream is how your soul calls you towards your true self. It's always possible to move towards more of who you really are. And every time you do that, you feel the benefits right away. So, as I said, I had this really great, productive week. And in doing that, I had chosen, these are the projects I'm really focusing on and making progress on. And of course, there's other things that I had to put on a shelf. And then sometimes I think of those things and go, it doesn't feel great. Or I feel like a bit of panicky, like, am I choosing the right things to work on, and am I putting the wrong things on the shelf? So I'm grateful for this group next week, just to give some space to look at all of that, to explore what's really calling me now. If I listen to my truest inner wisdom, where do I want to be focused? So that's what I'm exploring right now. I'll see you back here next week.